think recently got a 46, like a low 46. So yeah, we should have some fun here and see what happens. I will go ahead and tell you I am definitely interested in this matchup because the winner of this race gets to run against me next week. So whoever wins this will be my opponent in the round of 32. So just to quickly explain how this works, the Any Percent tournament had roughly around 100 people that entered. We were in groups of 5. We played every member of the group. So everybody ran 4 races. And then the top 2 players advanced to the bracket portion. There were 21 groups, so there are 42 players. And once you made it to brackets, your record was irrelevant. They went by your average time. So we dropped the best race out of 4 and the worst race out of 4. And then the average of the 2 remaining seeded you for the brackets. So the top 22 seeds got a bye. Seeds 23 through 42 have to play in an opening round to then play into the bracket. So this is Richmond and Cynan's opening round. At this point, I believe that pretty much everybody who watches these things regularly knows the basic components of the Super Metroid run. And a lot of people have, become familiar with the differences between old route and new route. So today's commentary is going to focus a little bit less on sort of education and a little bit more of just, looking at what they actually do and how they actually perform and which strats they choose to run. So should be a good race. Hope you guys enjoy. Happy Saturday. And now that both runners have made it out of Series Station, we'll get started with the real portion of the run on Zebes. Okay, so the first maybe 5 minutes or so, really, I guess maybe about 6 minutes of the 2 routes are identical. So both runners are just going to head down, grab Morphing Ball, Alpha Missiles, and then head up to pick up bombs. The first time you'll ever see anything be slightly different will be in the Pirates room after Terminator. Looks like both runners are utilizing Moonfall. So no advantage or disadvantage there between the 2 runners. But yeah, so even though they're going to be doing different routes, everything should be the same for the first several minutes. So let's just see how well they execute here. This pit room can be quite difficult. Cynan utilizing some gap skips there at the end, which is a really cool thing. When Samus falls off a ledge, you can compress her hitbox by pressing down. And sometimes you can make it onto a ledge that you otherwise wouldn't make it to if you just ran off. So sometimes it's good to use that whenever you can't get some of the jumps. Rich with a slight lead here already, about 4 seconds. Heading into construction zone. And he looks like Cynan and both he are going to use the down back method here. Can be a little tricky. Is there any document containing the seed numbers? Seems like those are neither on challenge nor in the tourney spreadsheet. I think they were posted in the Discord. If you would like for me to, I can read off maybe like the top 10 or so if you'd prefer, or maybe top 20. All right, now heading into the reverse pit room. These next 2 rooms in a row are really quite tricky. Rich using those gap skips I mentioned earlier to get across the room. Nicely done. Looks like Cynan's going to do this basically the same thing. All right, Rich is utilizing the wall jump method of getting up the climb here. One of the toughest rooms in the run. And looks like Cynan is going to use the ledge grab method. Both perfectly fine methods. Both can be very quick if done efficiently. So it just kind of comes down to runner's preference. Jester, I think we're referring to seeds as in like the tournament bracket seeds, like where you are in the bracket. This is not a rando tournament, so there isn't like a seed. It's just a vanilla game. I'm not sure if that's what you meant, but just so you're aware. All right. Richman starting his fight with Bomb Chorizo here, utilizing a good method of grabbing some of the missiles, but not all. You need 7 total missiles to kill BT in the fastest method, so it's good to grab a few that he drops and then fire all 5 that you have and then grab the extras. All right, so here's the first kind of real trick of the run. This is called Alcatraz. Rich getting it no problem, first try. Basically, Samus has a mechanism where when you are wall jumping and press down one time, she'll automatically morph in the air, and so you have to kind of do those inputs pretty quickly to get into that little crevice. And looks like Cynan having no trouble with that strat as well. Nice job. Rich picking up the energy tank at the bottom of Terminator. I would say he's probably about 12 seconds ahead at this point. Now notice here, Rich is killing the pirates, and he wants to leave this room with at least 2 missiles. So yeah, he's in good shape. The reason he does not kill the pirates, for anybody who's unaware, is because he's going to run New Route, or some variant of New Route where he goes to Phantoon first. In this route, you really want to maintain as much health as possible on your way to Red Tower before you go to Wreck Ship. Cynan, on the other hand, is definitely running Old Route. He just ran straight through the pirates without worrying about killing them. That's why you see that he has 5 missiles instead of 2, like Rich. Rich is going to kill these 2 Zeelas here. And now he's got his 5 missiles, whereas Cynan won't even have to worry about collecting any items from those creatures. He'll just fall straight down after killing the first Zeela, because he didn't have to fire anything at the or at the pirates. So he doesn't really have to worry about his health so much. You can get in health trouble in Old Route on the way to Kraid, but only if a lot of really bad things happen. So hopefully he'll be in good shape and not take too much damage on the way. All right, both runners successfully picking up their early supers. This allows them to skip Spore Spawn. And Rich heading into the hallway here before Big Pink. He's hoping for either a health or a missile drop there. Got a big health, so that puts him at full health heading into Big Pink. And really, he should only take a little bit more damage before getting through Red Tower. He might opt to take a D-boost from the bug in Green Hills here in a minute. And then after that, he'll probably have 1 or 2 D-boosts in Hellway. So with that in mind, he should, considering that he's full health right now, have plenty of health when he collects the Alpha Power Bombs. All right, both runners picking up Charge Missiles and then Charge Beam here. Pretty standard for both. Rich heading into Green Hills. Let's see if he decides to utilize this D-boost or not. Sometimes, unfortunately he got hit by that hopper, which is not something you really want to do. That's 20 damage. But he does opt to still go for the D-boost, which is 10 more damage. He's not really in any kind of major jeopardy. It's still fine. But, you know, especially in a race scenario with New Route, with Phantoon first, you really don't want to, you know, be too cavalier about taking damage, because you just never know. Phantoon can definitely troll. Rich, unfortunately, wasn't able to get the hero shot up Red Tower, but only lost maybe 2 or 3 seconds there. And yeah, he's doing a good strat here where he is actually going to farm a little bit extra, probably because he's in a race, and he decided not to take damage from the spikes. I actually like that play. If you were going for a PB, that's not something you would want to do, but in a race scenario, especially where you feel like you have an advantage over your opponent, taking just a few extra seconds to give yourself a lot more safety is a really good thing to do, considering how difficult the next section is going to be, or how dangerous it could be. Cynan, as you see, went down Red Tower. He is making his way to Kraid here, and a really nice block bust there with those 3 supers. And now he will make his way over to Kraid to try to get various suit before heading to Norfair. Rich is now coming up to what I would say, probably especially in a race, most New Route runners would consider this one of the scarier parts, because Even though you train to get the moat down, it's still very easy to kind of screw up several times in a row and kind of get stuck here. This is one of the first sort of choke point parts of New Route. So he's got to get over this moat without the equipment that an old route runner would have. You can get over by a CWJ or horizontal bomb jump. He did not get the correct jump for a CWJ, so he will attempt the bomb jump here. Okay, and this is kind of the danger, right? Because every time you accidentally miss, you fall and you lose, 5 or 6 seconds. And it's not such a huge deal. He also was trying to set up another CWJ attempt there by moonwalking into the door, but unfortunately missed and had to do the door transition again. But this is kind of scary because the horizontal bomb jumping can be quite tricky. All right, excellent. Now he's over. And he'll head over to Phantom. Cynan having no trouble with Kraid. Picked up the various suit there. And he'll make his way out. One thing you'll notice is that Cynan, on his way out of Kraid, does not have speed booster. If Rich were to do straight up New Route, he would have speed booster during these portions, making some of these rooms faster. But like I said earlier, I would anticipate him doing Kraid second for the extra safety, which means that he will have basically the same, speed that Cynan has here due to the equipment. Cynan going to pick up the Kraid tank. This is the first sort of quote-unquote optional item for the old route. But really, honestly, a great item to get. It doesn't take that long to pick it up, and it adds a ton of safety to the run. So he will, I would assume, based on most people's runs, he'll end up with at least 4 tanks on this run. Rich going to have to utilize Dopplers here with missiles because he does not have X Factors. He doesn't have Wave Beam for this fight like old route would. Unfortunately, he was unable to take advantage of Phantom giving an opening round right fast, which is, something that you really want. But he got flame lamed a little bit. Let's see if he can set up. Looks like he got enough to potentially 2-round here. Let's find out if he'll do it or not. 2-rounding Phantom with Dopplers is very, very hard and very hard to have consistently. But a 3-round is still perfectly fine. So let's see what he gets here. Okay, he went for the 2-round, just barely missed, but at this point, all he's got to do is pop maybe 1 or 2 missiles into Phantom and then a super, and he should be good to go. Excellent. All right, so Rich making it through this fight. He doesn't have any supers. He has 1 power bomb, but he's at full health, so he's in pretty good shape. Let's just hope that Phantom drops a lot of ammo for him. Cynan over here picking up my favorite item in the game, high jump boots. Ooh. Rich got trolled really hard. He's got plenty of power bombs, which is honestly in some ways the more important item, or more important ammo. But he didn't get a single super drop. So that kind of stinks. He's going to get a super missile pack up here to go to 6. But one thing about New Route is it requires you to chain together, like literally from the point that you are here at the end of Phantom through basically Ridley. There's a lot of ammo management that all works together. And he's already, sort of behind or in a bit of a tough spot. It's not that he can't recover. It's just that the less supers you have, the slower you have to go. And so we'll have to see what strats he uses in the attic here to kind of compensate. But Cynan having no trouble making his way to Bubble Mountain. As I mentioned, he picked up high jump boots, which is my favorite item in the game. And he's utilizing an excellent strat here. I learned that strat when I first started from Sloters. He utilized what is called a pseudo screw. So he charged his shot and then spin jumped, and it maintained the charge. And when he ran into that cack attack, it did 200 damage, killing the cack attack. So no trouble with Bubble Mountain, making his way down to pick up speed booster. And then after that, he'll head over to Wave Beam before leaving Norfair and heading up to Wreck Ship. Rich, on the other hand, will pick up his gravity suit here shortly, and then he will make his way down, never to have to return to the surface again until the very end of the game. So this is the point in the run where a new route runner gets to just kind of chill for a second and think about all the things that probably went wrong up to this point, which there's always at least several things. And now I assume, like I mentioned earlier, I think Richman is going to run Kraid second here, which is not the traditional new route order. New route typically does Phantoon first, Ridley second, Kraid third, and then Phantoon last, or excuse me, Dragon last. But for the purposes of a race, doing Kraid second, picking up the various suit, especially if you do a gravity, jump to get into Lower Norfair, which I'll point out when we get there, and also potentially picking up the Crady tank, which is not a normal tank you get in New Route. Those things will add a little bit of time, but will make the run way safer and give you just way more leeway to make mistakes in Lower Norfair. In traditional New Route, once you make it to Lower Norfair, literally 1 or 2 mistakes can be death. So while New Route is definitely the faster sort of route that requires maybe more tricks and harder maneuvers, it's also way more dangerous. So in a one-run scenario, it's good to have some safeties in to protect yourself. Not surprised to see Rich collect 2 supers there from those cacks. He's probably going to be trying to collect as many supers as possible from here until he gets to Wave Beam. So Cynan now leaving Norfair. He has picked up all the items he needed. He grabbed the high jump boot E-tank, high jump boots, high jump boot missiles, speed booster, wave missiles, and wave beam. So he collected 7 items. That's a really big, the Norfair section, other than the very beginning of the game, is the biggest collection portion of any run. So he got everything he needed. Now he's going to make his way up to the surface to fight Phantoon. Rich, you'll notice here, is picking up Spazer. Also want to point out, Cynan just got one of my favorite fun tricks in the game, the Alpha Spark. Excellent job. Very swaggy. Saves a few seconds in those rooms. A lot of players who run old route will not go for that strat if they're running 3 tanks, because it eats up a little bit too much health to make Phantoon more comfortable. But since he has that, that extra tank from Kraid, not really an issue for him. So, but yeah, Rich picked up Spazer, as I was pointing out, because in this particular route, you do Dragon last, and getting Plasma Beam would actually be a waste of time. So you need that extra damage for Ridley and Mother Brain. Yeah, and as predicted, Richman doing the Captain Picard route here. So he's going to go to Kraid second instead of third. Once again, I highly, highly agree with this decision. I think it's a really good choice, given the context of this race. Cynan is a very good player, but Rich's PB is several minutes faster. And so, Rich probably believes that he has an advantage as long as he can just kind of finish the run. So this is going to make his run, like, literally probably give it like a 4 or 5 times more chance to finish. My anticipation would be he will pick up various suit here and then grab the E-tank as well. So even though that'll eat up some time and he wouldn't do that in a PB run, definitely a good tactical decision for this environment. Also, thank you, Shadow Diablo. Appreciate that. All right, so various suit. The various suit will not actually help Rich in Lower Norfair more than just having gravity. Like, once you have gravity suit in vanilla, you have all of the defense that you're ever going to have in the game in terms of when a normal creature hits you. The reason that grabbing Varia early like this, though, can be beneficial is because there are kind of 2 strats that you have to run in this category without space jump to even get into Lower Norfair. And one of them is a lot harder than the other one. It's called a Lava Spark. If you do that one, you never have to take gravity off. But if you don't do Lava Spark and you do the gravity jump, you have to take gravity off for a little bit, and the lava will do a lot of damage to the regular yellow power suit, whereas it will not do nearly as much damage to the Varia suit. So having Varia early will save, I don't know, probably 30, 40, 50 health. Cynan did not have any issues getting a direct ship over here, and let's watch him fight Fantoon. He's going to be trying to utilize some X Factor strats here because he has charge and wave, which X Factor is a special beam attack. When you charge wave with a power bomb selected, you'll get a special attack that has 4 particles that do 300 damage each. Oh, unfortunately, Cynan got really lucky to get the opening right fast as well, but got a really fast eye close. But he did get all 4 particles, and unfortunately wasn't able to get that last X Factor. Looks like all 4 particles missed, so at minimum this is going to be a 3 round. He's got one more chance with one more power bomb, but unfortunately those X Factor particles haven't stopped moving around. He's getting a little low on health. Those flames will only do 20 damage to him, but still, if he gets hit too many times, he can only take 2 more hits. Ooh, and he unfortunately just enraged Fantoon. This is very unfortunate for him. He was so close to getting a fast 2 round, and this just kind of goes to show you how quickly the Fantoon fight, literally in every category, can get messed up. Heat damage, well bugs, you know, traditionally, like I guess it's part of it too, but you know, traditionally you would put the gravity suit back on before you are out of the lava anyway. So yeah, if you didn't put it back on and then continued to run into the elevator room, you would still take heat damage. But yeah, it's a combination of the lava and heat damage whenever you're just in your power suit doing the gravity jump. But he won't have to deal with that. He'll just take just a little tiny amount of damage from the lava, but Barry will protect most of it. All right, Rich getting a nice ice escape here, which will allow him to get under this little gate. And yeah, ammo-wise, Rich looking in a much better situation now. I guess long story short, part of the reason to do Kraid third in New Route is because you get 4 supers on the way into Kraid and 4 supers on the way out, because mini Kraid traditionally, like 99.9%, drops 4 supers. So since Rich did this earlier, he refilled on his supers, which is great. But the problem is he will have to take a little bit of time after Ridley. Once he escapes Lower Norfair, he'll have to actually farm some bugs when he makes it back here to the Frog Speedway. He'll have to farm some bugs so that he can have enough supers to fight Botwoon. All right, Cynan using that blue suit to kill some of those creatures, and a little ammo there. He's trying to maintain enough health to get over the spikes. And thank you, Shafe. I appreciate that. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. All right, so one thing I do want to point out is, you know, if you watch really closely at Rich's screen during some of this part of the run is not dangerous per se. You're not really going to take a whole lot of damage, and nothing's going to really kill you, but this is a really tricky part of the run in terms of the sort of inputs required to move quickly through a lot of these rooms. And this is where a lot of people can either gain or lose a lot of time in their run. I would call this one of the more complicated portions in terms of just pure speed running. You'll notice that Rich killed both the Sova and the Seahorse there. He was doing that because he knew he wanted to fire regular missiles at the door. He wanted to reduce the room lag some, so he killed both of those creatures. All right, so now Cynan picking up his gravity suit. Glad that he's made it without too much issue with his health. He might want to farm a little bit. He might want to get a little bit more health before he makes it all the way to Meridia, because he's going to probably want to use a Shine Spark on his way to Botwoon, which will take up, I don't know, maybe 60 health or so. And he wants to have at least some health to where he can take a hit from Botwoon and without going into health bomb range. And the reason you want to have that kind of health to be able to take a hit from Botwoon is because sometimes with some of his patterns, if you're trying to one round, it's almost impossible to one round some of these without purposely taking a hit and then using your iframes. So if you don't have that ability and he gives you a bad pattern and you just kind of like refuse to get hit, you're either going to go slow, or if you try to go fast and you get hit, you're going to get health bombed, and you really want some extra supers and power bombs. All right, Rich missed the lava spark attempt, so he's going to do the gravity jump. Take a look at his health as he does this. Notice again, he has Various Suit on. His health is ticking down really slowly. He only lost like maybe 20 health there. He would have lost probably 3 times that much or more if he had not had Various Suit on. So he's entering Lower Norfair with 351 health. In a normal new route run, most people enter Lower Norfair with like 180 health. So he's got way, way more health than would be typical, which makes things, you know, a lot less scary. All right, so Rich setting up for Fast Pillar's attempt. Cynan will be heading his way to the tube to head up to Meridia. All right, very nice by Rich there. And now here's one of the toughest rooms in this whole run for Rich. This is the worst room in the game. He's going to utilize a wall jump, or excuse me, a high speed jump here, lay a power bomb, and then try to use those iframes to get up. Very nice. This is one of those choke point rooms where if you enter here with low health and you don't get the strat and you just barely mess up, you can literally die. So good to see him get through that. Although he did take an extra 50 damage from that pirate up there. So his health is still fine. But it's not, you know, as safe as it once was. But this is what I'm talking about. If he had taken all that damage without the extra safety, then he would be in a lot more jeopardy right now. Okay, yeah, I'm not surprised to see Cynan farming just a little bit. He wants to get a little bit more health before Botwoon. After that Everest Spark. Alright. Those Tuskigas do 40 damage, the Pirates all do 50, and the Key Hunters do 50. So pretty much everything in Lower Norfair hits like a truck. Rich doing just fine here. He's going to correct that door transition and work on the Metal Pirates using Shine Sparks. Cynan now entering his Botwoon fight. Let's see how it goes. Hopefully he'll get a 1 round here. Ooh, just barely off on those X Factors. I think 3 of them hit. So he's gonna need. Ooh, he's unfortunately missed all 4 of the, now 5 of the supers that he's fired. So at this point, he's only hit about half of Fantoon's health, and he's going to have to use charge shots and regular missiles to do the rest. This could take a little while. If Botwoon doesn't go correctly at the beginning, like if you don't 1 round or immediately 2 round him, this fight can take a very long time. It's kind of one of those parts where you just hope that you get it right, and if you don't, then you just kind of have to suffer the consequences. Rich doing a smart decision here. A lot of times you'll see runners get to this part and, you know, they'll be just so in such a rush that they'll like just immediately go in with low health. In a race scenario, you don't really want to do that. He knows that he's ahead, so he's taking an extra 10 seconds, farming some health, making sure that he doesn't die to Ridley, or at least giving himself more of an opportunity to die. So Rich using some X Factor strats here. And now that Ridley has started his pogo phase, he's going to swap on the Ice Beam and the Spazer Beam so that he can do 300 damage per shot. Supers will do 600. So traditionally what people will do is once Ridley turns pink, you need about 29 more shots. If supers are worth, you know, basically 2 of those, so 8 times 2 would be 16. So once Ridley turns pink, Rich will need basically 13 charge shots, and he'll probably unload those supers during that phase during a pogo. It's just an easier way to keep track. In the old route, you only have to hit Ridley with 20 charge shots. You don't use ammo, so you don't really have to think about very much. But here, you have to kind of keep your wits about you and make sure you know what the counts are. Okay, Cynan entering his Dragon fight here. Rich getting trolled a little bit. You cannot control where Ridley decides he's going to drop some of those flames. And sometimes, especially in this category or in like low ice, he can just fire them at the ground and you just pretty much have to take them. Because if you try to jump over them, you can make him do some really crazy things, maybe take more damage. All right, Cynan getting a nice opening spark on Dragon. Ooh, looks like Cynan's running the advanced strat on Dragon. Oh, unfortunately, had a misclick there and missed that second shine spark, but otherwise he was looking good. All right, Rich made it through his fight successfully. Given that he only has 69 health here, which is really low, I expect him to pick up the Ridley tank no matter what. He's going to grab all these drops, hope for a bunch of supers and stuff, which he got a ton. Holy cow, he got a ton of supers there. That's really good. And he's going to refill. He'll have 500 health, or basically 499, to get out of Lower Norfair, which basically means, like, I mean, I'm not trying to jinx him, but if you have 4 full E-tanks at the beginning of exiting Ridley, you would have to basically have the worst performance of your entire life to die. So I expect him to get out of here with no issue. All right, Cynan dispatching of Dragon, getting some nice drops as well. Cynan, notice that Cynan is picking up Space Jump here. Space Jump is a core item for Old Route because it will be utilized not only on the escape from Meridia, but also in Lower Norfair. Rich does not have Space Jump right now, and since the vast majority of what he will have accomplished will no longer need Space Jump, or I guess considering that everything that he's already done in his run is over where he would have used Space Jump, he's not going to pick it up. So when Rich gets to Dragon, he will ignore Space Jump and just continue on his way. So Cynan unfortunately did not get a blue suit, but luckily in Old Route, you don't get punished for missing the blue suit quite as badly because you can Space Jump across this room. In New Route, you would have to do a variety of jumps and deboosts, and it can be very tricky and slow. So Rich is going to be hoping to get a blue suit when he finishes Dragon. Maddie, I assure you, I'm not trying to curse anybody. I think if you already see his health, you'll understand. Like at this point, he could mess up majorly in the next room. Like there's only one dangerous room left. It's this one he's entering. He could mess up literally like 5 times and still survive. Whereas a lot of times people will enter this room and they can only get hit once or twice. Sometimes you can't get hit at all. But yeah, he's going to utilize his iframes here. Yeah, he's taking 100 damage, but he's still completely comfortable. So he's made it out with no issue, and he'll make his way to the bugs after Bubble Mountain once again to fill up on supers so that he can get ready for his Meridia trip. And again, he would not have to stop and farm if he was doing traditional New Route. But since he did Kraid already and won't get those mini Kraid refills, he's going to have to fill up now. Yo, what's up, Spiriax? How are you, man? Okay, Cynan picking up Plasma Beam. Everybody's favorite super powerful beam. Does the most damage in the game in terms of beams. And also allows some other cool things to happen, like clipping through certain enemies. So that will get utilized for him, not only in Lower Norfair, but also in Torian. So you'll notice in the future, Cynan's Mother Brain 2 fight will be slower than Rich's. Or excuse me, Cynan's will be faster than Rich's because Cynan will only have to hit Mother Brain 20 times, and Rich will have to hit her 60. Thanks, Derp. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, Canadian Owl pointing out, got a rare health drop from the Cack Attack there. Cack Attacks will drop a super missile like 99.9 or something in that ballpark, like 99.8 or something. It's a really high number. If you're full on supers, they'll give you large health. But if you are not full on supers, they will give you supers like the vast majority of the time. But every once in a while, you'll get that rare health. Looked like Rich got that jump. That's a really tricky jump. Excellent job. That's basically the fastest way to move through the room. That fish tank room can be quite tricky. He's going to use a Shine Spark here. And notice his health. He's not worried about his health at all in terms of right now. He has way more health right now than he would normally have in a New Route run. So one thing I'll just go ahead and tell you in advance, he has basically 2 options when he's done with Batoon, okay? Depending on how much damage he takes from Batoon and how much health Batoon drops, he can either choose to completely skip the Batoon E tank, especially since he already has 4 tanks. he can choose to still pick it up to refill quickly and give himself more safety. Or he can choose to farm the bugs to refill a little bit and also have a shot at getting some extra super missiles. Unfortunately, missed a few supers there, but should only have like 1 or 2 more supers left to hit. Looks like he's opting to not fire that last super because he wants to make sure that he has at least 1 super for the green door. If I were him, I would farm the bugs here because you don't really need the tank, but I would want extra supers. So let's see if he chooses to do that. He does. Okay. So he's going to farm here for just a minute. All right, he got the 1 super he wanted. So he'll have 1 for the green door and 1 for the boss door. And now he's almost full on health too. So nice heads-up play. Cynan making sure he's full on power bombs, going the southern route here after Ice Beam. And the reason Cynan wants to have full power bombs is because I bet he's going to utilize a chronic boost. So he's going to drop a power bomb to open the orange door before the before the lava spark room or whatever, the lava dive room. And he's going to want to have 4 power bombs heading into Lower Norfair so that when he gets his first chance to collect some power bombs, he'll get back to full. All right, Rich starting his Dragon fight. This is really the last thing left that is completely out of his control. If he were to have just a really incredibly unlucky situation, he could take chain damage from Dragon and potentially die. Not likely, but it can happen, so let's hope for the best here. Cynan utilizing a nice pseudo screw. Oh, unfortunately he lost it there, but he was using a pseudo screw so that none of those flames would damage him. And that would allow him to jump through. All right, Rich going for, oh my goodness, look at Rich. I'm jealous. I can't do that trick. He just got a spike suit. So he's going to be able to hold down the dash button to move quickly through this room. He's not going to have to gravity jump. And he's still going to have that spark stored up. So he's going to get to the top here, activate, and then fly across this room. It's very fast. And if I recall, I think Rich actually has like a tutorial video on this that he made. Actually, I think he made it for me a long time ago, but I'm so bad at it that it didn't help. His tutorial was good. I'm just not good at it, so. Cynan unfortunately missing the fast pillars here, so he's going to be dropping power bombs. He might have actually even gone for the strat, I'm not sure. Some people elect to just ignore the attempt at fast pillars, but I didn't see what he did. Notice his worst room in the game is going to be a little bit different. With the plasma beam, he can just kill everything. Plasma beam makes Lower Norfair a lot safer and easier. So he's just, if he's ever in trouble, he can basically just clip through anything or kill it because of how powerful the plasma beam is. All right. Rich entering his basically his last Meridia room here. He's gonna do a nice jump here. Make his way up. Say hello to the fish. My assumption would be that he's gonna drop a power bomb, grab the drops, and then immediately leave because he's really good on health and supers. Yeah, there we go. He has way more health and supers than a traditional new route run would have. So he's in really excellent shape. I expect to see him run straight to G4 here. So my guess would be at this point that Rich is maybe 6 or 7 minutes ahead. Rich is 5, 6, or 7 minutes ahead of Cynan, like literally right this moment. Although Cynan will be able to make up a little bit of that time in Torian because of having the plasma beam from Mother Brain 2, but at this point, this is basically Rich's match to lose. So assuming nothing crazy happens in the Metroid rooms, I actually expect Rich to potentially even save before Mother Brain. Not really required. Having 4 tanks, the vast majority of the time, you're going to be able to make it through a Mother Brain 2 fight with that kind of health. But, it's never a bad idea to play it safe because it just takes one, miscue to lose an entire run. At this point, it'd be kind of silly to lose, even give yourself a 1% chance to lose a match that you're guaranteed to win. He could literally die multiple times to Mother Brain 2 and still win. So I expect him to consider at least maybe taking that save. And if he doesn't, you know, it's okay. But it's only going to be about a 12-second loss. And at this point, the time doesn't even matter because, you know, we're in the bracket portion. It's win and move on and lose and go home. So your actual time doesn't factor into any kind of seeding anymore. Yeah, I've seen a lot of comments about Richman's stream quality, and let me tell you, this is a really good quality for Rich. He has had some issues in the past, unfortunately, with his internet connection, and has had a few slideshows. So I'm like, to be honest, I think everybody should be really excited about the fact that his stream has been so smooth. Okay, Cynan finishing up Ridley. With this low health, I expect him to probably grab the tank. He doesn't have to. It depends on the drops. And also, it's a little safer to get out of Lower Norfair with Plasma because you can clip through a lot of the enemies, but I'm not surprised to see him pick up this E-Tank. It's, you know, usually a way safer decision. All right, Rich needs to be careful here. The primary thing he needs to watch for is supers. He has not been getting very many. Okay, that one was pretty good. Okay, so what he's going to do in this last room, it's going to be kind of weird. He can still get to full and everything, but he needs at least 2 supers to be able to run as, you know, as quickly as possible in the last rooms. He only got 1. All right, so he's not in, you know, this is not the end of the world, but let me try to explain what he's going to need to do here, okay? For anybody who's not aware, basically the minimum requirement in a run where you have 20 and 10, like, you know, running 20 missiles and 10 supers, you want to at least have 9 supers entering this baby skip attempt. That way, if you get it, you can super the red door, the I door, and the last red door, okay? That'll leave you with 6. And 20 plus 6 is just barely enough to get past Mother Brain without soft locking. So here, what he's going to do is, like, he's going to open the first door with regular missiles and then refill, which will then put him at 6 with the last 2 doors. Or if he wants to play it supremely safe, he can open up the I door as well. But I wouldn't recommend that, especially in this context. Instead, a better decision would be to just open that door, get the missile and health refill, save the game, and then go. That way, if you accidentally get soft locked because you miss a missile or 2 or a super against Mother Brain 1 from getting sniped, then you can still, you know, finish the run. So I, especially now, if he wasn't considering it before, I really expect him to save. I'm not saying it would be a bad decision not to, but it would definitely be the sort of game theory correct decision if the only thing you care about is winning. All right, cool. So it looks like he is going to do it. I'm not surprised. Cynan making his way out here. He's going to kill some of these 3 Musketeers, looks like. Needs to be a little careful. He's only got 121 health, and these guys do 50 damage. Okay, good. He's good to go. Yeah, I'm from Alabama, not West Virginia. But yes, definitely from the South. Okay, so Rich needs to be careful. If any of his supers get sniped here, he'll soft lock and he'll have to restart. He's going to need 2 more regular missiles. Boom. Okay, good to go. All right, Cynan now done with Lower Norfair. So he is out of danger for a little while. He's just going to make his way up to the surface and try to make it to G4. He's full on supers. Doesn't have much health, but he should be okay in Torian with that. Rich needs to do 60 shots of damage here. He's currently got Ice Beam, Wave Beam, and Spacer Beam all equipped. The combination of those 3 will do 300 damage on a charge shot. So Mother Brain has 18,000 damage, or 18,000 health. And so that takes 60 shots. For Cynan, he will be doing 900 damage per charge shot with Plasma, Wave, and Ice. So that's 3 times the damage, so you can do the math. 60 divided by 3 would be 20. So this fight can be a little more dangerous in New Route. It's not crazy hard, but at the same time, Mother Brain is definitely capable of giving some tricky patterns. And if you accidentally take a double hit from Ketchup, or if you get like a full load of of 4 onion rings to the face. Those onion rings will ignore iframes, or I guess they don't provide iframes. Okay, exactly like I just said. He just took 80 damage right there. If he were running 3 tank right here, he would be literally any damage away from death. You have to maintain at least 301 health by the end of the Mother Brain 2 fight. So Rich should be able to survive here, especially with the extra tank, but if he takes a double hit, he'll definitely be in trouble. Okay, he's through. And barring some kind of mega catastrophe here, Rich should be finishing in first place in this run. I would say at this point, it looks like he's probably going to run maybe a high 48, something in that ballpark. Cynan, yeah, memeing it up a little bit, killing the fish there. And now he's going to make his way to G4. Okay, Cynan playing it safe here and deciding to refill before the G4 or before Torian. I think the main reason he's making that play is for the health, which I certainly don't blame him for at all. Looks like he's also taking a save. Perfectly fine. The only thing left that could stop Rich from winning this race would be like a pet running into his Super Nintendo or a power outage, which, before anybody laughs, that has actually happened before to people and has cost people races. So hopefully nothing like that will happen, but assuming everything is normal, he should be finishing up in about 2 minutes here. And assuming he doesn't have any catastrophe things happen on the way out, he should run a high 48 here. He does have a save, that is true. All right, no issues with Mother Brain 3. He's going to begin his escape sequence. Cynan chilling in the G4 room here. And he will be heading down to start the Metroid rooms. I'm going to predict a 48-52. 48-52 for Rich. I'm in that. I'm going to predict a 48-55. All right, Rich using some iframes to get through that pirate there. A really nice Leo room so far. Cynan killing these Metroids here using the super missiles because he's full and he doesn't really have to worry about it. I'm sure he'll, assuming he gets normal drops, he should not have very much issue with super missiles. Unfortunately getting grabbed there. All right, Rich doing his last shine spark of the run. And heading up here. Looks like I'm going to be pretty close on the prediction, but not quite as slow. Rich got through there pretty quickly. And Rich is going to finish in first place in this race and win with an official SRL time of 48-49. GG to Richman3mm. Excellent run. Was in full control the whole time, really executed well, and made a lot of great decisions to protect his run. So congratulations to him. He will move on to the round of 32 of the 80% tournament. And he will now move on to face some runner named Kip. So that should be a good matchup. I'm sure it'll be a great race. Cynan now going for the baby skip. Unfortunately, just barely missing a jump there. And facing right, as any speedrunner should here. Going to save 40 frames. He'll go down, and he won't have to refill any of his regular missiles unless he just really wants to, but he should be able to make it through here just using his supers. So I expect to see him run in there, refill his health, and then use supers on all the doors. Sounds like a pushover? Yeah, so I heard. Sounds like a cheater? Yeah. I've heard he's done some questionable things. Cynan now going to again use regular or use super missiles here on all the doors remaining. For anybody out there considering running this game, one thing you need to learn very quickly, it seems sort of counterintuitive sometimes, but at this juncture, you should never ever use regular missiles on a door unless you have to refill. Because you'd have to use 5 regular missiles, which is 500 damage. One super is worth 300 damage here, and that's worth way more against, you know, potentially Mother Brain. So, Mother Brain 1 anyway. So he used all 3 of his supers there. He's got I think a 5 missile leeway here. Oh, he's already missed 1 super. Okay. As long as no other super gets sniped, and as long as 3 regular missiles don't get sniped, he should be good. Okay, excellent. Yeah. So Rich, if Rich is still out there, congratulations, man. I'm looking forward to us racing again. The 2 of us actually raced in the Rando tournament, which was a lot of fun last year. And I'm just going to go ahead and let everybody know that I've got my pre-recorded race run set up. Okay, it's a 45-15. All right, because I wanted it to be good, but not like preposterously good. So, you know, Rich, just prepare, and, you know, we'll see if you can run a 45-14 or not. Good luck. Oh, no. Cynan taking the double catch-up hit there, but ooh, okay, we're good to go. He's got just barely enough health. He'll survive this with 9. Yeah, Toasty, I mean, if you're gonna splice, it can't be obvious, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta make it seem like it's at least reasonably possible, right? Cosmic Brain. All right, Richman coming up here, get your Deer Forces out, and he is going to finish with, I want to say 21 or 22? Yeah, 21%. Excellent run. Finishing with 7 items more than he technically had to have. And I also like to say that because Rich is a solid low ice runner as well. So one cool thing about Rich that I know of, because Rich and I have hung out for a long time over the last year and a half, is Rich is very well versed in a variety of categories. He doesn't just run 80% or just 100%. He understands how to run old route, new route, 100%, low ice, and RBO, and I'm sure some other things too. So he's got a wealth of experience across the board. All right, and say goodbye to the baby there. Cynan now going to stand up and use the rainbow beam of love and vengeance to get revenge on Mother Brain for destroying her precious child. Ready for the low percent ice tournament? Me too. But the problem with that is almost nobody would sign up, unfortunately. Okay, let's talk about the schedule real quick as Cynan is getting ready to finish his run here. He's going to do his escape. At basically right now, as soon as this race is over, we're going to have another race. Not 100% sure if it's going to be on this channel. I think it probably will be. But the next race of the round of 42, you know, the sort of play-in round for the people that were in seeds 23 through 42. will be between Rumblemans and Scotty McBody. And let me tell you, okay, this is going to be an excellent race. Two old route runners with very similar PBs, both really cool guys and, very skilled in the game. So you guys are not going to want to miss that race. So if it's here, just sit tight and enjoy. And if it's at, another location, then find that location and go watch. All right, Cynan going to finish his run here. Looks like he's probably going to have a mid 55 if he doesn't decide to save the animals, although I have an inkling that he is going to save the animals. Let's find out. No, he's not. All right. Okay, Cynan is done. Unfortunately, he forgot to type .done in the SRL, but it looks like he ran a 55:31. So GG to Cynan, and really big congrats to him on playing any percent and getting a lot better over the course of the tournament and lowering his PB. So awesome performance for him to make it to the bracket portion, and great run today. I really enjoyed doing commentary for this race, and I want to say congratulations to Cynan and to Rich. Rich will be moving on next week, and then we'll see what happens from there. So, guys, from this point forward, I hope you enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Again, my name is Kip. If you have not done so, make sure to go give both of these runners a follow. Really cool, nice guys, excellent runners of the game. Obviously, you can learn a lot from watching their streams and just enjoying the atmosphere. And I'm going to sign off from here. Hope y'all enjoy the rest of the races today, and hope to see you again in the near future. See ya next mission.